thinking about employee loyalty, thinking about our team specifically, I think one of the things that's helped us accomplish a culture of accountability, which I think is also key to that effort, has been setting and accomplishing goals together. I can think of few things more demotivating than ambiguity, which is why we have to set clearly defined expectations. But also, if someone doesn't feel like they have the autonomy as to how to best go about accomplishing those goals and objectives, that can also be demotivating. So one, setting clear expectations and setting goals together, but two, giving them the flexibility of how to accomplish whatever goal is at hand. I think that's really key. Additionally, in our organization, we talk about as part of our mission statement the importance of providing personal and professional growth opportunities. Recently, I had a conversation with one of our employees that has recently been promoted. Started off as a CNA, had the opportunity also to work as a volunteer coordinator, and then just recently was promoted into a part-time volunteer coordinator and marketing role. And then just really recently, about a month and a half ago, became a full-time marketer. That was an opportunity for her that she had wanted, and as she was able to prove herself in each one of those different areas and different positions, has helped her to be successful. I asked her recently how things were going, and she said, it's going great. I love it. I really enjoy it. And she said also that she had received about 5 or 6 phone calls from other agencies wanting to recruit her to their company. And I asked her what her thoughts were. She said, well, I was told a long time ago, you always dance with the one that brung you. And she was she was really, specific about using the word brung you, right, or that phrase. She felt a sense of loyalty to us because she was given those opportunities, but then also the tools to succeed in each of those. So I think that's also key. Another key component, I think, to building loyalty is, from an accountability standpoint, we have to be challenged. We have to be willing to not only provide feedback, but also to receive it. Reflecting on some of the leaders that I've had that I felt most grateful for, those that have had the most impact on my life, it's been those individuals that have been willing to give me the tough love at times. And I think of one particular instance where I was in a foreign country and we were supposed to adhere to a very specific routine. And there was a lot of structure. I had to be up at 6 a.m., had time for personal exercise, had time for some individual study. But on one particular morning, me and some of my friends that were also in that country decided to go play basketball. And this was not part of the normal routine, but we justified it by saying, well, if we get up earlier, we can play a little bit longer. So we went to this basketball gym. It was in the middle of a bus depot, and this is like in the mountainous area of Guatemala. And as we started to play, tempers started flaring, and it got really competitive. Before we knew it, about 2.5 hours had elapsed. And when we got back to our flat, received a phone call, and this gentleman was the president of our organization for that particular region. And he asked to speak to me on the phone. And he said, David, he didn't use David, he used another word, but he said, when we're out there in the field, we need to be teaching correct principles. And that stung a little bit. I knew what he was talking about. I knew that we had strayed from what we were supposed to do. But I was also grateful that he was willing to give me the feedback and to give me the tough love in that instance. I think professionally, there are a lot of opportunities for us to have those conversations, really candid. They don't have to be, grandiose by any means, but just succinct, concise, conversations about what our expectations are, resetting those expectations, and helping our staff know how they're a big part of the vision that we're trying to create. From a personal growth standpoint, I also appreciated when those that I was working with or that were part of my work team helped me accomplish or achieve personal goals that I had set for myself. Several years ago, I recall setting the goal to lose some weight. In fact, it was weighing on my mind so heavily that I had participated in a health program through our insurance company. I started to do some exercise early in the morning, but for me, all my weight gain happened at the table. I had no problem putting in the work exercise-wise, right? I mean, never had difficulty getting to the gym. My challenge was, how do I moderate at the table? And I'll never forget, after setting this goal and sharing it with a couple of my colleagues, two of them walked in the door and they had this giant box of Cheerios, and on the Cheerios box there was a big red heart and it said heart healthy or something to that effect. And then also we set the goal to not eat out as much, because that's also been historically one of my challenges. Anything high camaraderie, anytime you're at a restaurant, that's something I love to do. But in this particular instance, I remember feeling like there was a commitment from them to me to hold me accountable, but also to provide some type of alternative and let me know that I was a priority for them. So, being able to create an environment where professionally people can grow is fantastic. But also being able to do that on the flip side, personally, is also key. That tells you that you're really dialed into the human experience, right? That you're really keyed into them accomplishing and achieving their own personal goals. And that's something that I think can definitely help build that continued loyalty. You feel like you're part of the same family in essence. And the reality of it is, here at Brighton, that's who we are.